we are going to simulate life on each planet in our solar system. Could there really be reptiles on Mercury, turtles on Venus, or mammoths in the Saturn system? We're going to combine science with a little bit of creativity and a little bit of BS to imagine a solar system full of life. Let's get into it. So the first planet in our solar system closest to the sun is Mercury. If there was alien life on Mercury, it would look like this. Mercury is very close to the sun, and it gets way too much radiation. So life there needs to reflect this radiation back out into space. That's why these Mercurian reptiles are so shiny, right? And they obviously need sunglasses as well. The temperature in the daytime on Mercury is 430 degrees Celsius. That's enough to melt lead. But then at night, it drops to minus 180 degrees, enough to freeze your balls off. But around sunset and sunrise, there is a period where it's actually pretty pleasant. So what do? You chase the sunset, literally. These reptiles are digital nomads that constantly move around the planet, staying in a continuous sunset or sunrise where the temperature is actually pretty decent. Thankfully, Mercury rotates extremely slowly, so they only need to move once every few days. And the gravity is a cool 30% of Earth's gravity, which makes it easier to pack up and start walking every couple days. As you can imagine, and you can probably see by the look of these guys, they are super arrogant. It's either because they think they're the first planet in the solar system, which makes them special, or it's just something that comes with being a digital nomad. The second planet from the sun is Venus. And if alien life evolved on Venus, it would look like this. Venus is a hellish planet with a constant temperature of 460 degrees all day and all night. This is because of a runaway greenhouse effect caused by the 85,000 volcanoes on the planet, right? So life on Venus needs protection, right? That's why we've got these rock tortoises with their tough shells and thick skin. The pressure on the surface of Venus is the equivalent of the pressure of being 1,000 meters underwater on Earth. So moving around on the surface of Mercury is very tiring. You can imagine trying to trudge through sludge or water with every step. And that's why these tortoises look so sleepy, right? Much like my dad, they're ready to nap at any point. They're just exhausted from trudging through the thick air on Venus's volcanic surface. And you might be wondering, if they're slow turtles that are always asleep, how are they not getting caught in lava flows from the 85,000 volcanoes? I don't know. The third planet from the sun is Mars, okay? And if alien life evolved on Mars, it would look like this. Mars is a dusty desert planet with big temperature swings between day and night. Around noon in the equator, it could be 20 degrees Celsius, but at night in that same location, it would be negative 80. And the dust storms can last for months. So Martians will need to hide underground in the evenings and during dust storms. But when the sun comes out, they put on their hiking shoes and they get going. Which makes sense since they have the tallest mountain in the solar system. All right, that's Olympus Mons, 22 or 21 kilometers tall. But you don't want to get caught in a conversation with these guys, all right? They'll talk your ear off about the best hiking gear and stride length for maximum efficiency, all right? Hiking is their only pastime, and they love to talk about it. They're kind of like your fat friend who loses a bunch of weight. Healthy, but really annoying about it. These Martians are also long and lanky, which can be attributed to the low gravity on Mars. The gravity is about 30% of what it is on Earth. So that allows these Martians to track 200,000 steps a day without any knee problems. Their Strava goes crazy. Next up, we have Jupiter, right? The fifth planet from the sun. We're not going to imagine life on Jupiter because Jupiter is a gas giant and that's way less interesting. Plus, Jupiter has a moon, which scientists consider the strongest candidate for life in the solar system. And that moon's name is Europa. If life evolved on Europa, it would probably look like this. Europa is an icy moon with a liquid ocean beneath an icy crust. This ocean is kept warm by the moon's blazing hot core. So it's easy to imagine giant alien squids underneath the icy surface. and gravity is only about 11%, so these squids can really be massive. Also, Europa sits in Jupiter's insanely strong radiation belt, so obviously the squids have to glow, all right? We all know that's just how radiation works, all right? If you get radiated, you start glowing. Basic science, all right? Lastly, these squids will have no idea that anything exists outside of their ocean. They're trapped beneath the ice and have been for their entire lives. They can't see Jupiter, they can't see the sun, they can't see stars, they can't see anything. And because they are so isolated, they're a bit like homeschooled kids, you know what I mean? They're a bit weird, and they've got very poor social skills, you know? This makes them very awkward, even with each other. It's like when you see someone you kind of know at a grocery store and pretend you don't see them, but you eventually bump into them and butcher the social interaction. This happens all the time on Europa. Next up, we have the Saturn system, right? The 6th planet in our solar system. But again, Saturn is a gas giant, and it just so happens to have a moon that is a really strong candidate for life in the universe. If life evolved on Titan, it would look like this. Titan has a thick atmosphere, which makes the air breathable. Not for humans, but for titanic mammoths that breathe in nitrogen, sure. Why would they be so big? Well, because gravity is only 10%. Why are they so fluffy? Well, because it's negative 180 degrees Celsius, which also means that gases on Earth are liquids on Titan. So it actually rains methane. And that methane rain soaks the moss that these titanic mammoths eat. And they got to get rid of it somehow, right? I don't know if that's exactly how chemicals work, but I just know that these guys can definitely clear a room. Which brings us to Uranus. Uranus is the 7th planet in our solar system. I think that's right, I don't know. But Uranus is different. Uranus is 60 times bigger than the Earth, and it doesn't even have a solid surface. So it just kind of goes from this like thin gas to like thick gas to like gassy liquid to like the slushy sort of soup thing that I don't really understand, to be honest. Because there's no solid surface, it means that life has to evolve in the upper atmosphere. And I imagine these weird jellyfish kind of beings floating through the clouds. You also need to know that the wind on Uranus is pretty nuts. No pun intended. It's like 600 kilometers an hour, right? And it blows these jelly boys to bits, right? It warps them, it misshapes them, and they end up looking almost like English letters, which kind of makes Uranus this sort of alphabet soup. And I heard when there's a big storm, a bunch of these jelly babies can get wrapped together and tied together, and you can even see them spelling English words like this one. Lastly, we have Neptune. If life evolved on Neptune, it would probably look like this. Neptune is like a twin to Uranus, except it looks more like a beautiful ocean planet from a distance, even though it's not. It's also this weird gas into soup planet where density increases from air into this thick sort of slushy soup thing that doesn't really make any sense. But because of this weird density dynamic, it actually rains diamonds on Neptune. There's no surface, so density just increases until diamonds start forming and falling towards the core. There's a lot of BS in this video, alright, but that part is actually true. They even tested it in some lab somewhere. Look it up. So if we combine that sort of Atlantis ocean aesthetic with raining diamonds, we obviously get some sort of species of Neptunian siren seahorses that are obsessed with diamonds and jewelry, right? These sirens swim through the thick layers of gas to collect diamonds in order to increase their social status. It's all about who's got the biggest and best diamond, right? It's kind of like when your friends start getting married. I spent so much time making these dumb AI images for this video, all right? And I'm pretty sure it doesn't even make any sense, all right? Just like the video and subscribe. Thank you very much.